Hello everyone. So today we're going to start with actual coding. So in the previous video we saw the syntax and how the software works and what are compilers and the basics of the headers. So today we're going to start with actual coding. So let's get to it. So we're going to learn one new mnemonic which is called printf. Now this printf stands for print function and is used for an output. So anything you write within the printf will be given as the output. So I'll just show how this works. So we write print f. So that's one of the options given below, and we give two brackets. Now we'll have to use double inverted commas, and whatever we write within it, let's say hello everyone, will be printed. Don't forget the semicolon, that's really important. And I've written hello everyone. This is the build and run command, so I'm going to click on that. It's building, and here you can see hello everyone is written. So that's how the print function works. It's really easy and the most basic mnemonic needed. So let's get to a little more complex. Now I'm going to use few variables. Now variables have to be predefined in any code so that the code knows that which variable you're using. So let's say the variable we use right now is the letter A. So we're going to predefine the letter A as a variable. So there are different kind of variables, let's say data types of variables. So we're going to learn two right now, which are the basics, integers and decimals. So integers in this case include numbers from minus 32,000 to plus 32,000, and decimals have numbers till 5 decimal places, again from minus 32,000 to plus 32,000. So right now we're going to use integers, and the initial three letters we use is int, which is int, and our variable is a. So that's how the variable a is defined. So int a means that it's an integer data type, and the variable we're using right now is a. For example, if you want to use a decimal, we use something called float. Now in code language, the decimal point we call is known as the floating point because it can be shuffled anywhere. So we call it the floating point. So if we want any number which is a decimal, we use the mnemonic float. Well, right now we're going to use int because it's easier. So I've written int a with a semicolon. Now I'm going to give a value. So let's say a is equal to any number, for example 5, with a semicolon. So a is equal to 5. Now we can't write the same thing as 5 is equal to a, 5 is equal to a. Like you might be thinking, if a is equal to 5, 5 should also be equal to a. But if I build this, I click on the build button, this line will show an error. Now the reason this is showing an error because there is always a way to write a code, and if there is a variable, you have to define, you have to write the variable first and then give the value here, putting into the variable. So we can't write 5 is equal to a because that's the wrong way to write it. So we've written a is equal to 5. Now we want to print this number 5 or the value of a. So obviously if we just write a over here, it will take a as an alphabet. So let me just print this. So as you can see that the alphabet a is printed, and we don't want that. We want the value of a to be printed. So we use something called percentage %d. Now this percentage %d fetches the value of the variable. Now because longer codes have many variables, we have to tell which variable it has to fetch the value from. So we put a comma after the double inverted commas and put the variable we want percentage %d to fetch the value from. So this percentage %d takes the value of a and prints it on its position. So now let's build and run this. So as you can see, this number 5 has been printed. So I can also write, let's say, the value of A is percentage D. So percentage D will be replaced with the number 5. So let's run this. So the value of A is 5. So that's how the percentage D works. So in case of float, instead of using percentage D, we'll use percentage F. And here we'll have float. So let's say, because it's float, we can add any decimal. So A is equal to 5.58. So this is the value of A right now. So because I've put percentage F, now it will take the float value of A and not the integer value of A. And the float value of A is 5.58. So if I run it, so the value of A is 5.58. So let's go to something more complex. I'm going to replace this by an int. That's easier, and let's say this was 5. So going to something more complex, let's have 3 variables, A, B and C. You can write them together, it doesn't matter. So let's say I've given A a value 5, B is equal to 7 for example, and C is equal to A plus B. Now in this case, A and B will be taken as variables and not alphabets, because we are using an operation over here. This is the default program, so you don't need to add any percentage D or anything in that. And now I want to print the value of C. So instead of writing the value of A, I'll write value of C, and we're using integer as a data type, so I'll put percentage D, and the variable I want to print is C. So the value of C is percentage D, which in this case should be 12. So I have run, the value of C is 12. So that's how this works. Printf is pretty easy. So we end our video over here. In the next video, we're going to see how we can take values from the users instead of putting it ourselves. So we're going to learn a new mnemonic, and we'll see how we can take inputs from the users and then use that in different operations. Thank you.